It is the largest number in human history. A number so big, our brains physically cannot process it. $324 trillion. That is the current weight of the global debt mountain. If you stack this in $1 bills, it would reach past the moon, past Mars. It would punch a hole through the solar system. But here is the question nobody asks. If the world is $324 trillion in debt, who do we owe it to? Martians? The future? Or is it possible that the money doesn't actually exist? Welcome to the greatest magic trick in economic history. Today, we are going to follow the money. We are going to find out why your groceries cost double, why nations are collapsing, and why the global economy has become a Ponzi scheme that is mathematically guaranteed to break. This isn't a crisis of poor nations anymore. Japan, 230% debt to GDP. The United States, over 125%. China, hidden debt exploding in the shadows. For the first time in history, the wealthiest empires on Earth are the ones most likely to go bankrupt. But to understand the endgame, you have to understand the lie. You've been told that debt is just borrowing money.
Why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
That is false. In our modern system, debt is money, and right now, the machine that prints your reality is overheating. The illusion is. When you go to a bank for a mortgage, where does that money come from? Does the bank take it from a saver's account and give it to you? No. They type it into a computer. Poof. It is created out of thin air.
We must protect the position of the American dollar as a pillar of monetary stability around the world. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
Since 1971, money has not been tied to gold. It is tied to debt. If all the debt in the world was paid off tomorrow, every single dollar, euro, and yen would vanish. There would be no money left. This means the system requires debt to grow. If we stop borrowing, the world stops spinning.
Now, the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Since they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah, so.
And this is why the number is $324 trillion. To keep the illusion alive, governments must borrow more today than they did yesterday.
U.S. federal debt is on an unsustainable path. It's not at an unsustainable level, and no one really knows how much further we can go.
It's like a shark. If it stops swimming, it dies. But where is all this freshly printed cash actually going? They printed trillions. Why aren't you rich? This is the Cantillon effect. When money is printed, it doesn't fall from the sky into your pocket. It goes to the top first. It goes to the banks, the hedge funds, the government contractors. They get the money before inflation hits. They buy the houses, the stocks, the assets. By the time the money trickles down to you, it's worth half as much. The debt isn't just a number. It is a vacuum. It is sucking the value out of your labor and transferring it to the owners of the debt. But who are they?
We'll create money from nothing, loan it to the government, and charge interest. Legal counterfeiting, my friend.
Follow the flow. Right now, a terrifying shift is happening in the global books. For the first time, major governments are spending more on interest payments than they are on their own defense. The United States spends more just to service its past debt than it does on the most powerful military in history. This is the debt spiral. They have to borrow money just to pay the interest on the money they already borrowed.
When your interest rates go way up because the borrowers want their money back, no one can afford anything. You get a recession on top of everything else. You're having to raise taxes to pay off the borrowers who are demanding their money. They don't care how you're doing. And it's a really, really bad situation, and one that should be avoided because it can be avoided. Because once you're in there are no good choices.
It's a mathematical impossibility. If you used a credit card to pay off another credit card, you would go to prison. When the government does it, It's called quantitative easing. But here is the darkest part. Where does the rest of the money go? It goes to keep the zombies alive.
Zombie corporations.
Zombie company. What exactly is a zombie company and how many of them are there out there?
A zombie company is a business that doesn't make enough profit to pay its debts. It only survives because interest rates were low and banks kept lending them fake money.
You can think of zombie companies as a type of distorted asset valuation, right? Because a company that cannot generate enough revenue to support its debt service and its running costs arguably is trading at an inflated valuation because it can continue to borrow at low rates.
Some estimates say 20% of the companies you see on the stock market are zombies. They are dead. They just haven't fallen over yet.
As these companies sink deeper and deeper into debt and to the dependency that debt puts a company on its creditors, with or without government backing, which also cannot last forever.
But now rates have risen. The cheap money is gone. The IV drip has been ripped out, and the $324 trillion mountain is starting to tremble.
Both the supply and demand for labor has declined quite sharply.
So, how does this end? History tells us there are only two ways out of a debt trap of this magnitude, and neither of them is pleasant. Scenario 1, the hard crash. Governments stop printing. They try to be responsible. The result? The system collapses instantly. Zombie companies fail. Unemployment hits 30%. The stock market drops 80%. The $324 trillion evaporates, taking your pension and your savings with it. Politicians hate this option. It means they lose their jobs or their heads.
Every American born after this will inherit debt on money we created from nothing. Generational servitude.
Scenario 2, the path of least resistance. Financial repression. They don't default on the debt. They simply print away its value. They pay back the bonds, but with money that is worth nothing. Every time you see the price of eggs go up, that is the debt bubble leaking into your reality. They are inflating the debt away, and you are the collateral damage. Who owns the debt? Central banks, pension funds, foreign governments. But ultimately, the taxpayer is the collateral. Your future labor has been mortgaged to pay for the mistakes of the past. The $324 trillion bubble is looking for a pin. It could be a war. It could be a bank failure. It could be nothing at all. But the math does not lie. Exponential growth cannot exist forever in a finite world. The money is flowing out of the paper world and into the hard world. Smart money is leaving the debt system. They are buying things that can't be printed. Land, resources, truth. The debt clock is ticking. We are living through a historical anomaly. The question isn't if the correction comes, it's when. And when the music stops, will you be holding a chair or a bag of worthless paper?
The Federal Reserve. Not federal, no reserves. But everyone will think it's their government protecting them.
Good afternoon.